Well, hello. Welcome to SNL Analysis, Season 44, Episode 21, Paul Rudd, aired on 5/18/19. So we've got the cold open. I felt that the words were muddled throughout the song. I felt that there was so many things happening at the same time that a lot of the jokes just felt dropped off. I thought that the sound was off to the jokes. I thought that Cecily, some of her jokes were muddled because of her having to do the character and the accent and the physical movement and plus the sound and her being a perfectionist, being aware of what was happening and trying to balance the whole situation. And you saw her doing it. She had more lines throughout the entire situation, and then you got Beck Bennett, and he was allowed to just that one liner and just push that through. So everybody was great in like the physical movement and that comedy element, but just some of the lines were just lost because of the audio. I don't know if that was the same live as it was for me watching it, but that was I stream it, so that was how it was. So I give it a 7. I give it a 7 just because I'm like, what's going on? So for technical difficulties, I gave it a 7 because it was serious to me. Then you've got the monologue. I felt that the monologue was every joke landed. EJL, every joke landed. Paul Rudd is a pro. He knows what he's doing. He knows his brand. I didn't feel that it was hilarious. I didn't feel that there was a moment where I'm like falling down hysterically laughing. So that's why I gave it a 9. Then we've got the time travel. Time travel was Rolf rolling on the floor laughing, right? I think it's one of those. And EJL, every joke landed. The chemistry was amazing. The beats were great. I think they should consider it as a movie. You know, it was a 10, an absolute 10. Then we've got Pete. See, a lot of what I've been talking about before in regards to Pete and shining him as a talent. This is what I'm talking about. This is beautiful. This is where Pete shines. Because it allows Pete to be Pete, but it allows Pete to be the talented Pete that we want to see outside of him just talking about being Pete. So, and then Grace and Frankie. It was just, it got an extra 3 point. It was a 10, an absolute 10. It was on beat. Every joke landed. It was just beautiful. And he got an extra 3 points for guest appearances. And then so that was absolute genius. That was, that was beautiful. And if you're a Grace and Frankie fan, then it's extra funny for you. I'm wondering if I would have rated it lower if I wasn't the Grace and Frankie, if I didn't know the entire season, but I'm gonna go with it. Then we've got what is it? What's wrong with this picture? Every beat, everything was funny, everything was hilarious, every joke landed. It's just wow. It was the 10, an absolute 10. Weekend update. It was a 10 across the board. I think that some of the questions I've had with Leslie doing this kind of shtick, is that are the jokes going to land? Is it going to progress forward? Is it going to work? And I feel that in this particular element, it really does. There were jokes, there were beats, everything was flowing. The Joe's thing was there. We were expecting it. And it was just beautiful. So it was, and Janine Pirro with the, oh my gosh, that was beautiful. An absolute 10. And Weekend Update always knocks it out of the park with their jokes. So that was a 10. Then we got Music Box. Music Box I felt was a 6 because the fart joke and you could hear it in the audience. It was just like, okay, it's a fart joke. And then the whole thing with I'm not going to give it away, but with the whole twist ending, I was kind of like, okay, that's funny. But I think a lot more, it was a card that could have been played in a much better way. And I hope they do play that card, but I hope that they do a much better job with it. Because it's a wonderful card. You know what I mean? The TW card. TZ card. I'm not going to give it away. Just watch the show. Then we've got The View. Now, I had quite a few things to say about The View. The View, for me, if the first View was funny, hilarious. Everything was on point. The second View was like, wait a second. You're doing you're trying to exact same shtick without really watching The View. And anybody who's a fan of The View knows that Abby Huntsman has been gone for 2 weeks. So that was, and anybody knows that even if she hadn't been, Sunny Huston has been there the longest. She has a bigger fan base because she's been there the longest. So I don't understand. Do they not have someone that can play Sunny Huston? They really need to get down and pick apart Sunny. There's a lot of things. I mean, Sunny and her chickens. Just that alone, call me. I'll tell you everything about Sunny and throwing her children off a bridge. What? Yeah. There's a lot of really funny things about Sunny that you could put in, and how she's Catholic and she's torn and just all that stuff. And she's a lawyer. The whole lawyer thing. Remember that? I'm a lawyer. So then, close to, so I gave it, oh, no, let's keep talking. So Megan, yeah, because it was important for me. Megan, I felt that there was a line, the Joe Biden thing did not work. I gave it a 4. Abby is great as Megan, but you got to draw that line between funny and just downright cruel. And Be My Friend or I'll Die, that line, and I'm going to give it an out. I did not like that at all. I did not like that at all. And when I look at some of the television shows and some of the people that are saying, that are rallying about Megan and them being like, oh, that's an easy joke, I do not like that at all. And the fact that she worked for the network for such a long time, I really like that was just a super miscall. And I'm actually, originally I had given it a 5, but the more that I thought about it, I was just like, no, this is a 4. And I might even go down to a 3, but that was my point, but I'm not, because then I looked at the point, and that's just too cruel for me. So I gave it a 4. Then we've got Close to You, and I gave it a 4, because it just was not, it was banking on a trope that I don't really care. It's not really necessarily funny. I think to me it's like a realistic situation, so I could see it happening, so I don't see how it could be funny. Like, I don't see the humor in it. So I don't know. Then we've got the Ouija, so maybe it's just me personally, because of my perceptions. Then we've got Ouija board. I felt Ouija board for me was really funny, and Melissa I think is really hilarious, but you didn't hear the people laugh as much. I don't know what was going on. I was expecting the audience to be a lot more involved, and just maybe it was because we needed more physical movement, a more hyped up element of the teenagers. I thought about maybe Paul Rudd not playing the dad. I thought about maybe giving more lines to the girls. I thought maybe Paul Rudd could play maybe even, Lucifer, if you know the shit, you know what I'm talking about. But it was funny. I thought it was really funny. But when I heard the audience, and I felt maybe it was the beats. I think the beats and the jokes in between lines, maybe that was what it. So I gave it a 7, just because I don't want to be biased on my side. I want to take everything into consideration: the audience, the laughter, and everything. So overall, they got 10 skits. They got an 80. So that is what, a B, like a low B, a very low B. And some of those were primarily because of just some simple things. Sometimes when you try simple things, it's just the audience is a lot smarter than that now, and we have things like Westworld and Game of Thrones and The Simpsons. We've grown up with The Simpsons, where you can go back and watch each joke and be like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that. So those kind of things we've grown up with, so we're expecting a little bit more. So 8. Do I think Paul Rudd was a great host? Yes. Oh, there was one skit that they cut, and I was like, that was a 10. That was an absolute 10. The members of the audience couldn't stop. The cast members couldn't stop laughing. Computers. I forget what it's called. It was like a retirement party, and that was hilarious. I would have taken out The View and just hashed it out a little bit more before bringing it back, but I know The View is shortly. I know that this is the last episode, so it's like they want to squeeze in maybe a View. Music Box I would have taken out. Close to You I would have taken out. And I would have given more lines to... I would have given more time to Ouija board, and then maybe just go all out. Just go crazy, like with... the mermaids, like, that kind of thing. Kate McKinnon does the beautiful mermaids that tempt the men. I love that character. true. So I want to wish you all a wonderful, wonderful eternity. But what did you think of this season? What did you think of the entire season? Break it down. Let me know your comments down below. Who was your best guest? My favorite guest was going to be Adam Sandler. I'm going to say Adam Sandler was my favorite guest out of the entire season for various different reasons. I think that that was a really great card to play. I'm wondering what kind of cards they're going to be playing in the new season. What cards would you like them to play? Madonna and RuPaul. We've been holding on those cards for a long time. I want to wish you all a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful eternity.